Hello, my friends, and welcome to another week of art. Let me go ahead and share my screen so we can get started. Okay, we are in week 7, the week of October 5th. And our I can statements will be, I can create a drawing inspired by the art of Keith Haring, and he was a famous artist. I can create an original work of art using color, line, shape, symbols, and movement. And what will we do today? I'm going to review those rules and expectations again. And there will be a reading of the book, Keith Haring, The Boy Who Kept Drawing by K.A. Haring. We'll look at how lines, shapes, color, and symbols can be used to create movement in art, a quick demo, and then you're off to make some art. Okay, let me pull this up so we can see it a little bit better. Okay, there we go. Okay, once again, art room rules. Attitude is a choice, so we are going to be positive, respect everyone, and try your best. And don't forget to view the video and complete the assignment. Submit your assignment, your artwork, to me via ClassDojo, Seesaw, or email it to me at eturner@ecps.us. Offline learners, you're going to turn in your art once again to the school when you get your new flash drives. Okay, quick review. Line is a path that starts with a point and continues. And remember, that's one of the elements of art. And we talked about different types of line, just like I've got here. A straight line, squiggly line, zigzag, dash. Okay. Shape is the outline of an object, and it is also an element of art. And remember, elements of art are the ingredients that make up art. And we talked about several shapes. We talked about the circle, remember? We talked about a square. We talked about triangles, rectangles, ovals, and diamonds. And we also talked about organic shapes, which would be like a leaf or a flower or a starfish. Okay, movement. What is movement in art? Well, it's one of the principles of design. And principles of design works together with the ingredients and elements of art. And movement is the path that your eye takes through the work of art. Repeating shapes, colors, lines, they can all create movement. Let's look at an example. First, how does line create movement in art? Well, first of all, let's take a look at types of line. We already mentioned that, but look at a thick line versus a thin line. That looks like a fat line, doesn't it? Really thick. And a thin line is very slight, very delicate, and this is also known as a horizontal line. So a horizontal line is going to go straight across, okay, back and forth. A vertical line, like this one, is going to go up and down. And a diagonal line is going to go from one corner to the next corner. Okay. Here are examples of how line and shape can create movement in art. If we take a line and we repeat it and change it ever so slightly, this almost is like waves that are going back and forth. In the middle here, we've got a person that looks like they are moving because whoever drew this picture and added color changed it ever so slightly, and they repeated the same shapes, changed the color a little bit. but you can see that they look like they are digging with a shovel. And then this is like a photograph of a person walking, and the artist took that photograph and created a drawing or painting based on it. And you can see how line and shape can be repeated and changed a little bit. And then you can see how they repeated all of this, and it looks like legs and arms moving. Now, I've got the story we're going to listen to called it's the reading of Keith Haring, The Boy Who Kept Drawing, by K.A. Haring. Now, let's see if I can pull this up for us.
Keith Haring, The Boy Who Just Kept Drawing. Written by K.A. Haring, illustrated by Robert Newbecker. There was a boy named Keith. When he was little, his father taught him how to draw dogs and fish and funny things. His dad would draw a line, then Keith would draw one. Soon, the whole page would be full. From that time on, Keith never stopped drawing. In elementary school, while taking tests, Keith doodled on the edge of his paper. When he handed in his work, his teachers would say, "Why did you doodle on this important paper?" Keith didn't answer. He went back to his desk and just kept drawing. Sometimes Keith invited his friends to draw in his backyard clubhouse. Keith made symbols and said each one represented a letter of the alphabet. His friends asked, "Why do you use symbols to write?" Keith drew more symbols. It was his way of answering their question. He encouraged his friends to join him. As a teenager, Keith liked to draw in his bedroom with music playing loud. He would draw on every piece of paper he could find. His mother had to yell over the music, "Why can't you turn that music down and go outside and ride your bike?" But Keith had sold his bike to buy art supplies, so he answered, "Look at all the cool drawings I did." And he just kept drawing. When Keith was in high school, he won first prize for his art. A successful couple from town offered to buy his drawing. Keith said, "No, thank you. If you enjoy my art, you may hang it on your wall. No charge." Keith's sisters were shocked. "Why didn't you take the money?" they asked. Keith shrugged. He just wanted to keep drawing. Keith graduated from high school and went to the big city of Pittsburgh to a school that would teach him about art. There were boys on the street trying something new, breakdancing. He liked the crazy shapes of their bodies as they turned and flipped on the ground. While the music played loud, Keith started drawing wiggly lines. His teachers asked him, "Why are you drawing pictures that look like scrambled bodies? This is not what we told you to draw." Keith knew how to draw. He just wanted to draw in different ways. And he kept drawing. Keith moved to the huge city of New York when he was 20, so he could draw with other artists. He started to draw all over the city, on walls, on sidewalks, and on paper that hung on lampposts. His drawings were washed away by the rain or torn down by the street cleaners. Other artists asked Keith, "Why do you draw in places where your pictures will be erased?" Keith didn't hear them. He was searching for another wall so he could keep drawing. Keith got a job delivering packages and sometimes rode the subway. One day, he saw a panel of black paper on the wall in a station. He rushed outside to buy chalk and came back and began to draw. The white chalk made bright, smooth lines on the black paper. Day after day, Keith filled the empty panels in the subway stations with art. Soon, people who rode the subway were looking for the white chalk drawings. No one knew the name of the artist, but his drawings were easy to recognize. People asked him, "Why are you drawing here? What do your pictures mean?" Keith said, "What do you see? You decide what they mean." Where Keith lived, There was trash on the street, and people didn't always say hello to each other. One day, he and his friends cleaned up 20 bags of garbage in front of a long wall. Then Keith painted square faces with smiles and body shapes dancing upside down. The neighbors liked the drawings and stopped to say thank you. A policeman came by and lectured Keith. "Why did you do this? I have to give you a ticket because you didn't get permission." Keith paid the fine and just kept drawing. Soon, people wanted to see more of Keith's drawings, and he was asked to display his work in an art gallery. Art was hung from floor to ceiling, and in between, he painted on the walls. Keith invited everyone to come and enjoy his work. All of Keith's artwork sold. The gallery owner asked him, "What are you going to do with all this money?" Keith said, "I read in the newspaper that there are kids who don't have enough to eat. I didn't have this money yesterday and I was happy. If I don't have it tomorrow, I'll still be happy. All children need to eat. I'll send the money to them." The gallery owner gasped. "Why?" Keith smiled and started to draw again. Now people were inviting Keith to draw in famous museums and exhibit in galleries all over the world. He was proud that he had become a successful artist, but wherever he went, Keith insisted he paint a mural so everyone could enjoy his work, not just the people who had money to buy it. During a visit to Paris, France, Keith painted on the outside of a children's hospital, 6 stories high. Newspaper reporters came to take pictures and asked, "Why did you paint at the hospital? Do you think it will make sick children feel better?" Keith didn't have time to answer. He had to finish the painting. When the Statue of Liberty was 100 years old, Keith drew an outline of the famous statue on a huge piece of vinyl fabric. Then he asked 900 kids to help him finish the drawing. Keith told them, "Draw anything, whatever you want. No one can say it's bad or good. It's yours." When the giant painting was displayed, people were amazed to see what Keith and the kids had made. But the art critics couldn't understand why a famous artist was drawing with kids. But you know Keith, he just kept drawing. Keith painted all over the world. He would draw on anything, anytime, anywhere. Wherever he went and whatever he did, he would not stop. He just kept drawing. Now everyone wanted to know, and together they shouted, "Why? Why do you draw all the time? Why do you give your artwork away? Why do you draw on buildings, on people, on clothing, on furniture, on subway walls, on cars, on skateboards, on walls that belong to no one, and on things that can be thrown away? Why do you draw on everything?" Keith stopped drawing, just for a moment, and answered, "I draw all the time because there are many spaces to fill. I give my drawings away to help make the world a better place. I draw everywhere because everyone needs art." Then Keith turned back to the street, took a piece of chalk from his pocket, and just kept drawing. Art is for everyone.
Okay, so that was a great book. It showed you a little bit about his life and the fact that he was a very generous artist. He gave a lot of the money that he received from artwork to those in need. Now, here are some examples of his artwork. Okay, some are in black and white. And I'm showing you this because some of you might not have any crayons or markers or anything that you can color. I hope that you do. But if you have a marker or an ink pen, or if you use a heavy pencil, you can use that. But one thing you notice right away about the people in his drawings are that they don't have faces, right? But they're kind of like stick people, a little bit thicker, and I'm going to show you how to draw these people. And remember how they said music when he saw the dancers, the break dancers dancing and how their body would twist. And he's using line around them to show some of the movement. Okay. Here's some more pieces, and you see he uses bright colors in the ones that have color. And these have symbols in it. Remember we talked about symbols? Like the heart represents love. And we can see this looks like a mother or a father holding a child. And this looks like friends because they have their arm around each other. And there's also like the dog. And like I said before, you see these lines that are around them show movement because he's repeating some of the lines around them. And it's kind of following the curve of their bodies. Now, I'm going to show you a quick little demo, and I'll talk through it to kind of stop the video every once in a while to show you how to draw some of this. You are going to be drawing a figure that appears to be moving using line, color, shape, and symbols. And your art doesn't have to look like mine, and you may use crayon, marker, paint, or whatever you have at home to decorate. Okay, so let's get this up. Oh, if I can just get it. Hold on just a second. Go. All right, this is an example that I did. And what you'll see in it is it looks kind of like a stick figure. And there's another one that's standing on its head. And you see the lines that are around it? That represents them trying to shake and trying to balance one another. And I even added the ground here with those lines. And remember, we're talking about repeating some lines so that it represents movement, but you can also use lines that represent just something that someone's sitting on or standing on. Here's one. It looks like a symbol of a person trying to hold up the world. And instead of marker, I used crayon to trace a thick line around the figure. There's one. I haven't finished tracing it, but you can see they are holding up a heart. I always start in pencil first, okay? Okay, and hopefully you'll be able to see. Start with the shape of an egg or an oval for the head. Now, this is where we're going to start with almost just lines instead of giving them the bulk of their body. We're going to start with a kind of stick figure, which most of you should be able to handle. There's the neck. The shoulders is going to be a line that goes past here, and my arms are going to be up. And I'm putting a little hook there. That's going to be the hands. Okay. Now the body, and I'm going to have their legs kind of squatting out, and the feet is another little line that goes out. So that's all we have right now, right? Okay, now basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be tracing around the outside of those lines to kind of bulk them up a little bit so he doesn't have to look just like a stick figure. We're going to give him some flabs, some fat on him, okay, his body. Yeah, start from the neck. And I'm just going to follow that line on the outside and come around. And you're already noticing that his legs, his feet, everything is getting a little bit thicker. Now he looks more like he's got a body. He's not just a stick figure. I'm leaving the line on the inside. You don't have to. In this stick figure, you don't have to leave that. You could erase it, but I kind of like leaving it in there to add an extra line. And then I'm tracing over it. If you don't have a marker, you could just trace over it again with a crayon. And I'm only doing the outside line, not doing the inside line, but if you wanted to, you could. And hopefully you're able to see it a little bit better after I trace around it. There, now my line's a little bit thicker. I could even go around it again. I'm adding some lines around it to represent some movement. So he's kind of wobbling around, okay? Just trying to keep his balance. Okay, and maybe he's going to hold something up. I'm adding that line to represent the land. So he's standing somewhere. Now let's see what is going to be on top of his head. What do you think it could be? Well, let's see what it's going to be. Well, first of all, I made the line a little bit thicker. Now I'm adding some eyes, some mouth. Oh, it looks like a sun. Oh, it must be hot. And I might add some curvy lines in there because maybe he's somewhere where it's hot, or maybe that's water that he's at the beach or something. Okay, so that is one way that you could draw a person, a stick figure. And remember, we looked at the different ones. You could turn the body. If you can't do the tracing around that stick figure, you can do it as a stick figure as long as you add the lines around him that represent movement. Okay? Like, see the lines around the heart? All these little kind of dashy lines. And these lines around the mom or dad that kind of go out, it makes them look like maybe they're moving a little bit, okay? All right, so today you will be creating a drawing of a figure that shows the movement, okay? So make sure that you include line, color, shape, maybe symbols, and movement in it. And the movement is going to be using the lines or repeating a shape or something like that. Online learners, you must take a picture and post it to Seesaw or Class Dojo or email it to me. And offline learners, you must turn in your finished artwork when you return to school to pick up another flash drive. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me or call me, and you can leave me a message at that number and it automatically goes to my email, okay? So you're going to create an original work of art using supplies from home. Okay, so this is going to be a fun project. I can't wait to see your artwork. I hope you have a great week. I love you. I miss you. And I'm giving you a hug, and have a great week and go make some art. Bye-bye.